Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 GMO random run, where we take two random characters, mash them together with the Genetically Modified Overkill mod, and see what horrible monstrosity we get, and if we can beat Danger 5 with it. Let's just jump right into the action, and see what characters we got. We got Knight and Mutant. So this is a really fun combo, I think. We'll get a lot of XP gain from Mutant, and we'll get a bunch of stats from Knight. We also get to start with a level 2 weapon if we want to. So let's see, I've done Jousting Lance and Sword for Knight, because we did Lance for my random run with the Knight, and Sword for my class guide to the Knight. So I could take... maybe we'll try Hammer. This is a weapon that sees almost no play, and I think it'll be kind of fun with the Mutant and the Knight, so let's give this one a shot. It'll swing for 45, which is kind of sweet, but very slowly. So we're not going to make much money in this first wave, probably, because of the very slow attacks of our Hammer. But I'm hoping that we can just make a ridiculously powerful character just whacking things with a hammer. 3 levels thanks to our mutant bonus. We already have a bunch of melee damage, so just to reiterate what the classes do, or show you what the classes do, in case you're wondering. Knight gives us melee damage for armor, and we get armor, get additional armor, but our attack speed is reduced, and we can't really use harvesting. The Mutant gets triple XP, but items cost 150%, so it's going to be difficult for us to get a lot of items, but we'll get a lot of levels. We can pick up armor from those levels to gain melee damage with the Knight. We also really do need attack speed because the hammer attacks so slowly. I'm just going to take the armor here, though. Normally you would roll for harvesting or luck or something like that, and luck is very good on this character combo still, but armor's so good on the Knight that I think it's worth taking. Here I'm going to reroll and see if I can find luck or anything along those lines. I'll take max HP, and then one more reroll just to see if there's anything we can get. I'm not worried about boosting my melee damage, but I'll take 5% attack speed. That's still just going to be really important with the hammer. Wow, so we can roll level 2 weapons in the shop at level 1. I'm actually not sure why that is the case. Normally that shouldn't be possible, even for... I guess the Knight is just making that possible, so that's kind of cool. We can pick up the hammer here, and I won't buy the rock. It's another blunt weapon, but I think that's out of theme for us to not just buy the hammer. And then I'm going to, I guess, just go into the next wave, save my money so I can buy a hammer. It's going to be tough to get our weapon set online because our weapons are so expensive. I feel like we're... What character am I thinking of? We're building the big guy from Indiana Jones who gets crushed in the cement mixer or rock crusher or whatever that is. I will take the movement speed. We're going to need to counteract the blunt weapon tag, and then I'm going to reroll here and just take armor. Luck is really important for the Mutant, of course, because it increases the quality of your level ups, but armor is still just so good for the Knight that I think it's worth taking. And then here, there's, honestly, I've got a hammer locked, so I don't think I can really afford to roll for other items. I think we just have to save our money so we can actually buy a second weapon. Obviously, you could buy other weapons in the meantime just to increase your farm speed, but I kind of like this character as a hammers-only character, so I'm playing to the theme. We at least hit for 54. Oh, I was hoping to get one more swing in there. That would have been worth a lot of money. Still hoping for luck here. Roll again. We've seen 0 luck. I guess I'll take the % damage. And roll again. Roll one more time. I'll take the level 3 regeneration just to give me some healing. Finally get to buy a hammer. I'll buy the lemonade here as well and roll. I'm going to roll again to see if I can lock another hammer, but I missed, so we're going to basically just be using the shop to only buy economy items if we see good ones, and hammers, because we're going to need to get our weapon set online soon. Blunt weapons are nice for the knight, and I think spiky shield is a good pick for knight as well, because it gives you armor. Armor gives you damage. Or rock is a good pick for knight as well, because it gives you armor, it gives you damage. I'll take the weird food here for sure. Still hoping to roll into some luck eventually, but I'll take more regeneration and roll and more regeneration. All right. Luck apparently is not happening. Okay, we finally found some, so that should increase the quality of our level ups. And it's so important for Mutant because what level ups you get offered is based on your luck stat, so we need to boost that early. I'm not going to worry about Broken Mouth. We're just going to roll for weapons here, and I'll lock the hammer, and then we'll save up for another hammer. If we can have, say, 4 weapons by the time we get to the first elite, I'll be pretty happy. I did buy the Lost Duck. It was 60, which is expensive, but I think was worth it because we so badly needed to increase the quality of our level ups. I was hoping to break that loot alien for the crate. One more hit. I got the one more hit, but it had just a little bit too much health. Okay, so here I could roll for... We're guaranteed a level 3 level up because this is our 10th level. I'm just going to take the attack speed. I think we will need that. And then here we'll take 15 luck. That's perfect. Now we get this. I'll take the tree anyways, and then we'll just go to the next wave. Trees are pretty good on the Mutant because you're going to be buying luck aggressively, so... And, of course, any items you get from crates are really powerful on Mutant because they're worth 1.5 times as much. The way that we failed to kill that loot alien there is also why I really just dislike knockback on weapons. I know I talk about this sometimes, but... It just makes it really hard to kill loot aliens when you punt them away from you. We have plenty of armor and regeneration, so I'm okay tanking, and tanking hits, I really just want to make sure that I am clearing the enemies as much as possible. I could take some dodge here, we'll want that eventually, but I think I'm going to reroll to see if we can get something a little more relevant. I'll take more luck. Harvesting doesn't do anything for us, so we'll roll again, and sure, more luck. All right, so now I've invested pretty heavily in luck. We should be okay for that. I will lock the metal plate, because that armor is very useful, and we'll lock the helmet as well. More armor is very good for this character. We have plenty of damage, I think, so we should be able to kill the slasher without too much trouble. This is sort of a how long can we stay on one weapon challenge. Or not really, but it worked out to staying on very few weapons for an abnormally long amount of time. That time, the loot alien spawned a little earlier, so we were able to hunt it down. Again, I'm okay tanking hits, because we're very tanky right now. Medical turret, I think I'll take. This is another way to heal without having to worry too much about it. Range is not horrible, but I think we want the money. Here I'm going to take percent damage, I think, because we will need the percent damage. Luck is already at 50. No, I should still just buy luck. It's still just so good on this character. And then here, all of these are stats that I really want. Armor, obviously incredible for the knight. Attack speed, very important for this build, since we are going to struggle a lot with it. And HP would be great, but I think armor is still the way to go. I really don't want to lose luck, and we already have 200% XP gain, so black belt we're not going to buy. I will buy these 2 armor items and then roll. I kind of forgot I had 2 armor items locked, so maybe I shouldn't have bought the armor with my level up and instead gotten HP. Lock these 2, they're still just efficient and high quality items. I'm not going to buy the gambling token because it will lose damage. Or rather, the metal is still an efficient and high quality item. The hammer is not really, but that's the weapon we're using. With 16 armor, we can afford to be pretty cavalier with taking hits, but not so cavalier that I can just run into all the enemies. I say as I run into all the enemies. Actually, maybe we can. Maybe we're just tanky enough I can just survive that. We have 16 armor, which is so much for wave 8. Yeah, so I can increase my farm quite a bit by not caring about my health. Not career advice. I'll buy the bait here for sure, and let's recycle that, and then more luck. We're going into wave 9, so more luck also means more crates, and then we'll roll here. Here I'm going to take the attack speed. I really want to be clearing enemies more quickly. Hammer, yes. We don't need the lumberjack shirt. We should be one-shotting trees anyways because our damage is so high, so I'll just pass on lumberjack shirt. And then metal detector is worth some luck. But minus 5% damage. It's also more expensive, so it'll take longer to pay for itself. And we won't get it before wave 9. I think it's still going to be worth it, but that could be a mistake. We're going to tank a lot of hits here from the lampreys, but we have the medical turret to heal back up, plus our consumable healing. Basically, I'm just charging into big groups of enemies to heal off of consumables and try to maximize my income this wave. There's so many enemies, and our luck is high enough that we should be able to generate consumables from just about every group of enemies we charge into, so we should be able to have our healing keep up with incoming damage. That's why the weird food was such a good find for this character. I do wish my medical turret had spawned a little more centrally. It would make playing around it a little easier. So we got a little unlucky there. But you can see our health is ping-ponging back and forth quite a bit because we're running into groups of enemies. Those enemies spawn and tanking hits. Those enemies spawn a consumable. We go back up. Yeah, I'll take another bait. Weird Ghost I'm not going to take because I just took bait. I know you were all hoping for me to mess this up, but not this time. And then here... I'll take the level 4 upgrade. Armor obviously is great, but a level 4 upgrade is a level 4 upgrade. Now I think we're going to start building dodge as well. When you get level 3 dodge upgrades, you hit dodge cap pretty quickly. And then more attack speed is still so important for this build, even though we only get 50%, we still need to buy it. Metal detector I'll buy. Scar I'm going to skip. We already have 200% XP gain, so there's not much point in buying a Scar. Unfortunately, harvesting is not good for this character, so we aren't going to buy Tractor, even though Tractor is normally an amazing item. And I'll skip the Pocket Factory as well. We are going to buy the leather vest here. Sword would, of course, be good for us, but we're hammers all the way. We'll buy the leather vest because it increases 2 stats that we want. And still not going to buy the Weird Ghost. I was tempted, but not this time again. And let's roll one more time, see if there's anything else I can buy. No, I'm just going to save my money. Oh, we got the percent dodge, so I could have bought Weird Ghost, actually. We'd have lived. So, obviously not the right decision to make, but... in that case, thanks to the, 16% dodge that I got there, I forget what my dodge is, somewhere around that, we'd have actually survived. Not getting a lot of consumable drops from these guys, but we have the medical turret to play around as well. Really need some movement speed, of course, before we face the elite would be ideal. Made 614 materials that wave, which is pretty nice. I'm going to recycle the boxing glove. We definitely don't need to have more knockback. Recycle the padding, and then I should just take this max HP. We have only 41 health going into an elite wave, and that's dangerous. And we'll take the armor as well to make myself tankier and also kill the elite faster. Great to roll into our last hammer here. That's very nice. Then I'm going to roll again. 5% attack speed is honestly not terrible. Do I want Lucky Charm or Vigilante Ring? Our percent damage is pretty bad. It will pay for itself pretty quickly. Lucky Charm also obviously is great on this character, although it's a little bit later on, and it's very expensive. But I think we'll buy the ring, I'll lock the Lucky Charm, and I'll roll one more time to see if there's anything else that will be relevant in this engagement. Nothing here that I want. Snail would normally be pretty good, but we need movement speed more than anything else. Fighting an elite with minus 3% speed is going to be really tough, but hopefully we can make it work. This, luckily, is one of the elites that chases after me, which is easier to fight than elites that mostly run away. So this one will start running away at this point, but we'll have done a bunch of damage to it by the time it starts running. If we got one of the elites that just ran the whole time, it would be a lot harder. It did almost get me there because it spawned its whole horde on top of me while I was pinned in the corner. Of course, I pinned myself in the corner, so wasn't the elites. The computer doesn't have agency. But instead, the human made poor decisions. But luckily, we also just have 25 armor, so we can get away with a lot of poor decisions. Potato, sure, lots of stats, all stats that we want, we'll grab it. And blood donation, unfortunately, the harvesting is still lost on this character, so, or wasted on this character, so it doesn't, not worth picking up. We'll take the HP here, and then we're about to buy more luck, but I think even more luck is the way to go on this character always, so we'll pick it up. Just anytime you're playing Mutant, max out luck. We're going to buy the hammer here, and that brings us to 175 damage scaling, which is pretty awesome. I don't think it's worth buying Mastery because we get so much flat damage from armor. So normally this is an excellent item on all melee damage characters, of course, but on the Knight Mutant combo, where items are more expensive, so we have to be pickier, and we already get lots of flat melee damage, I think it's more worth rolling for armor. And I will buy both of these, though. Minus 4% crit chance, so the hunting trophy is not going to be useful. We'll lock the Lost Duck here and then go to the next wave. Wow, we need 3 hits to kill the rib cages? 1, 2, yeah, 3. That's kind of sad. I feel like we should be one-shotting things because we're a sledgehammer build. They do so much damage. Maybe I was supposed to buy the Mastery just because Sledgehammer has the even higher melee damage scaling. Basically every adventure movie, the big guy with the hammer is the villain's, like, henchman, the second in command. So it's time for us to take back our place on top of the pile. We'll definitely buy the HP and the melee damage here, and then, yep, 4 armor. Perfect, we have 30 armor now. And I think we can actually reroll for not luck at this point. I'm hoping for movement speed, and we did, in fact, find some movement speed. Buy the Lost Duck here, and another Lost Duck and a propeller hat, and one more reroll. Lock a hammer. Perfect. It's so palpably easier. I know it probably doesn't look like much on the recording, but the feeling of moving at plus 4% movement speed compared to minus 2% movement speed, it's only a 6% difference, but the game feels so much smoother and easier with even just slightly positive movement speed. Obviously, this isn't like the most challenging run of all time, although I did make it a little more challenging by forcing myself to go only hammers. These are just two very high-tier characters that also synergize reasonably well together because they can just get stats that the other ones need. But sometimes it's nice to just have a really fun run where you throw yourself into a big group of enemies and beat the crap out of them. Yeah, 20 more luck, sure. Now we've got all this luck, we can take baby elephants as well. We'll upgrade. In fact, can I afford this whole shop? I would like to, but I don't think we can afford it. I will take the baby elephant, though, and I'll lock the cake as well. Do a reroll. Bean Teacher is not terrible. If we'd gotten that earlier, it would have been nice. So we have plus 200% XP gain, right? So this is only a 1/5 increase in our increased XP gain. But if it's worth like 3 levels or 2 levels, that would be worth it. I don't think it will be worth 2 levels, though. Wave 14 could be kind of dangerous for this character. If we let too many of the enemies of the summon stack up, especially because I did just buy that baby elephant, which is a little bit risky going into wave 14 because it's going to break summons in a way we don't have break the summoners, break the slugs in a way we don't have control over, so there's going to be goobers running all over the place. Trying to stay near them when they're spawning so we can stop too many of them from spawning, but it's difficult. Luckily, with 30 armor, any individual piece of damage we take is just not that threatening. On the other hand, we're making like no money these waves, which is really interesting. I'll take the movement speed here. That's going to be very important. Part of the reason we're making no money is because my movement speed's bad, by the way. Movement speed is also a farming stat because it lets you move from enemy to enemy more easily. Sunglasses, I think, will be a pretty significant increase to our damage output. So even though we lose 2 melee damage here, 2 flat melee damage, any critical hits we get are really valuable. So I'm going to start building for critical hits. We'll lock the hammer. I don't think we need any of these. Cute Monkey is nice on this character, but I don't think necessary. Walked right into that elite there. You can see how much damage our critical hits are doing, so I'm pretty happy with the purchase there. I'm just going to tank this elite and get the full heal. That'll be faster than trying to dodge, because there's so many projectiles and our attack speed's so slow. It's very difficult for us to actually clear out the adds in this level. Of course, the reason we're making so little money per wave is that we're the mutant, right? We're getting 50% less money per wave, but we were doing okay in terms of income earlier. I'm curious how our metal detector has done. Obviously, the 6 luck is relevant on this character, but with reduced income from enemies, you will expect not to have metal detector work that well. I'll take riposte as well. 295 swing back is pretty nice. I'm going to reroll, and again, I think we can get a higher level upgrade. Yeah, we'll take the armor. Bag will still definitely pay for itself at this point, although now I cannot afford the hammer. Let's take a look at our metal detector, see how that's done. 129, so it's already paid for itself. And I'll just take the Mastery at this point. I do think that actually is worth buying for this character, just because Sledgehammer scales so insanely well with any melee damage, even though we get a lot of it elsewhere, and it's more expensive. I think it's still right to just buy Mastery on this character. It's just such a good item. More dodge is probably the thing that would make this build safest. Obviously, our armor is great. Our HP is fine. We could use an increase, and our damage is, I would say, adequate. More dodge is the thing that would make us most survivable and make the chance of losing this run lowest, I think. So the best item for us would be something like Adrenaline to go with our riposte. So then we could just run into enemies and have them explode themselves while we heal. Recycling that, and then here, wow, it's a bunch of level 4 upgrades, none of which we want, so let's roll again, and I might just take 10% attack speed, or I could go up to 20% movement speed. Our percent damage is fine because of the Vigilante Ring. I could also roll for dodge, but I think 10% attack speed is still going to be good. We'll upgrade our hammer. Now the metal detector is probably not worth buying. Roll again. I think at this point it is worth picking up Terrified Onion. It's late enough that the luck is less important, and we still have 175, and 13 move speed is a lot better than 9, especially for an elite. I'm just gonna let the eggs hatch. We should one-shot the slashers anyways. We don't really care about them. I just want to hunt down the elite as quickly as possible. Alright, we need two attacks to kill the slashers. So yeah, it was not a big deal to let the eggs hatch there. That was 4 attacks to kill a tentacle, I think, although fewer if we crit. The other reason that we're having trouble making money in these waves, obviously, the main one is the mutant penalty, but the other reason that we're sometimes not getting as much money as you might expect is because of the very high knockback. It just takes us like several attacks to kill these enemies, and there's a lot of time between attacks when you're pushing the enemies away. Sure, more armor. Definitely good for this character. We get up to 87 melee damage. Recycle that, and I'm going to reroll here. I think I'm looking for dodge at this point. Alright, I'll take 12% movement speed. That's still good enough to grab. Ugly Tooth is fine, but not necessary, so let's roll again. Sift's Relic is pretty fun with Baby Elephant, so I'm going to grab that, and then if we get more similar items, we can pick that up. Sift's Relic is also just really fun, so worth picking up just for the awesomeness factor. One of the probably most overrated items in the game just because it's so satisfying. It's not actually very good, but it's so much fun to use that I'm never going to not buy it when I see it if I can remotely get away with it. I think Sift's Relic and Pocket Factory are 2 items that are bought solely just because they're so cool, more than because they're actually good. In most circumstances. The Relic does, of course, combo very well with Baby Elephant and Cute Monkeys, and is a top-tier item for Lucky, but for a character like this, it's not really doing that much. Alien Eyes, sure, we'll take it. It will help us kill stuff. And then I'm just going to grab the 6% dodge, I think. It's a low level upgrade, of course, but dodge is so good for this character, I could still boost that to a reasonable value, potentially. 30% damage on the focus, I don't think that's worth 520, so we're just going to go to the next wave. Actually, maybe prioritizing dodge going into wave 19 just wasn't worth it. we have so little time to get to a reasonable value, and before you get to about 30%, dodge is pretty weak. Each point of dodge, of course, is worth more than the previous point of dodge. Because of how the math works on that. So the first few points of dodge are a pretty inefficient purchase, but the later points of dodge, it's kind of an investment, because the later points of dodge are very efficient in terms of increasing your effective HP. But making an investment going into Wave 19 is maybe not where you want to be when you're just trying to win Wave 20. We're actually losing a lot of health here. We'll recycle that. 5% attack speed. That's going to help us kill the bosses a little faster. Oh yeah, how's my bag done? It has paid for itself, but only barely. Surprisingly, with 175 luck, we have really not gotten that many crates. Alright, Plasma Sledgehammer. That's definitely the same as a hammer, so I'm going to buy that. This obviously counts as a hammer, and is... it's pretty much exactly the same as a hammer. I guess it's actually slightly better because the base damage is higher. It actually loses a little damage because we have negative elemental damage here, but the base damage is much higher, so it does more damage than the level 3 hammer. No, actually it's doing less because we're losing elemental damage. So even with the much higher base damage, it's doing less. I was comparing it to the level 2 hammer for some reason. But it's interesting that the Plasma Sledgehammer and the hammer are just are items with different stats. You'd think that it would be sort of like Fist and Flaming Brass Knuckles, where they're the same, but one has a bonus effect. These items just actually have completely different stats. Alright, I do need to be careful here. I'm taking a lot of damage, and I need to run in and kill the elite. Gotta kill the boss relatively quickly here, and then we'll get a full heal. This is the danger of slow attacking weapons, and also just getting lazy and dodging badly, is that it can be quite difficult to actually finish off the elites, even though the individual damage on our weapons was super high. Just because we attack pretty slowly, our single target DPS was not amazing. Overall, though, we ended up with 11k. The Plasma Sledgehammer did pull its weight pretty effectively, which is kind of nice. And then the Alien Eyes actually helped out a lot in that last wave as well. I guess we didn't have that much regen, so we weren't healing that quickly. So that's why I got a little surprised by how much damage I was taking. But still made it through. This was a really fun build, obviously. I recommend this combo if you're just looking for a relaxing and entertaining time. Other than that, the only other things that are worth noting, not a lot of economy items. The bag obviously paid for itself, though I will say we got quite unlucky on crate drops. Given the 175 luck we have, we should be getting a lot more. We should have had a lot more free items, I think, this run, if you ran on. So I think we were running quite a bit below average on that. And maybe if you ran this build a few more times, it would end up more powerful. It was kind of fun saving up for individual hammers at the beginning, too. That's not something you normally do, but it was like the first 3 waves we were just hoping to scrape together are enough to get that last hammer. Alright, my friends, hope you enjoyed the video, and of course, as always, if you have, feel free to leave a comment, like the video, and you can subscribe to my channel for more of this and other strategy games. Cheers, folks. GG.